My name is Natacha. I'm Canadian. I moved to Belgium for 6 months almost 20 years ago, and I stayed there for 17 years. So I have 3 boys who are 14, 12, and 9. They keep me busy as well, but also they're super inspiring because they look at things differently and they discover things at the same time. And it's just so fun and exciting. If you're not available for it, then it's going to go by. And I think this specific trip here, knowing that we're here for a limited amount of time, means that you really need to focus on trying to enjoy it. Otherwise, it's gone. And then you'll have missed it. I grew up, fantastic family and so on, but with kind of not even traditional, but basically you just thought you work hard and you get some promotions and that's it, and hopefully you put a little bit into pensions and that's it. The stock market is bad, it can always crash, it can be dangerous, and you shouldn't have any debt. I think those were the main things that I mean, it wasn't like this was constantly talked about, but I could feel it. That was the general thing. And there was some stress around money, I would say. And then in Belgium, we were both working and we bought a house and we just thought, okay, we're going to pay off this mortgage and that's it. I thought we were doing quite well, actually, but no sort of knowledge of this ability to go further, to go beyond that. And I even had this story of going in when I was 23 years old and getting huge amounts of debt and just thinking that was okay. So I was 23 years old. I walked into a bank and I asked for a pretty big amount of money, which I had sort of come up with, but hadn't really budgeted so well. And I was working, but I really needed more to pay for my rent and so on. And they gave me, almost double what I asked for. I remember that it was a woman. I remember exactly her face saying, but you're going to need more than that. You're going to need a car. You need to get a car. What if you want to travel a little bit? What if you want this? And I just thought, oh, fantastic. They know. I am giving the impression of being such a reliable person that they are happy to give me more than I've asked for because they know that I'm not going to default on this loan. And I was proud of it. And I walked out of there and I told people around me and people congratulated me for it because the people around me didn't know better either. And I don't even know what the interest rate is. I actually called the bank to ask them at the time what the interest rate was. So it was around 8%. And, it took me years and years and years to pay that off. And it's not until I started doing work with you and talking through some of the issues that I realized that this is actually terrible. The fact that she offered me more isn't the problem. The fact that I didn't understand what she was saying to me is the problem, because I could have gone in there and had a perfectly good negotiated discussion and said no to certain things or asked about interest rates, maybe even negotiated the rates. I don't know. So the problem isn't even what she said. It's that I walked in there not having a clue what I was doing. So like I said, I think we were just kind of going along. At some point, though, it became quite clear to me that I wanted to make sure that I was financially independent as a woman myself. So I have a wonderful husband, 18 years together, but who knows what happens? And we had a difference in salary as well. And I just thought I need to focus on this is something I can control. I can't control a lot of outside factors, but what I can control is how I deal with my own money and what I do with my money. And there's got to be more to it than what I'm doing right now, which was just, not scraping by. I wasn't scraping by, but I was just kind of going around and making the money and then putting into the mortgage, and nothing much more was advancing. And I just started to look into it, and I thought, and mostly it was about being sure that I was independent, also so that I could be a better partner, also so that I wasn't sort of wasn't feeling, so that I felt like I was contributing as much, and also mostly that I was going to be financially independent no matter what. Yeah. And I wanted to invest in real estate, and I thought, it must be possible somehow. So that was also a driving. It's not possible that you just have to come up with a full amount of cash to buy, or even a huge amount. There's got to be some way to do this. And that was also something that I was really curious about as well. Yes, there's anxiety and stress and money. I would say there was in our discussions. I think it's something that was always quite difficult for my husband to talk about. I think he was always concerned that I was going to try to put limits on his spending, or that I was going to tell him what to do, which wasn't at all. So it took us a long time to get through that. And now it's in a much better place where he's very supportive. I have to say that I do a lot more of the work in terms of finding the investments and looking into the real estate properties, because I love doing that. But he's very supportive of it. And our conversations have really shifted. So that was tough at the beginning. It really was. I can't say that we don't sit and have a money date sort of every month and this kind of stuff. We do it more according to project. We'll have a specific project and we'll sit and look at it together. Or even we do the numbers every so often, and he's always so proud and happy with it. And I'm also super proud of how it's going as well. So it's very positive now. So Anne, I think, and I'm not kidding. I do sort of coaching and so on, but you were really single-handedly the one person that I would recommend to anybody that is the least bit interested in anything financial. And it is because you are the truest, most authentic person. I think that really when you speak, I think that you're so relatable and there's nothing artificial about what you say. And never mind that you're a complete expert and can really go into the details, but you just keep it at a level where I think people feel a connection and they don't feel overwhelmed, or I don't feel stupid. I feel like I can really open up to you about these questions that I have. And you're always available. You're so accessible also. And it makes all the difference, because if you can't ask the questions, you can't learn. And you can't get to where you're trying to go. So, I mean, the first sort of shocker for me was that my house wasn't an asset. My immediate actions were to start budgeting, to start following my spending. And that was also really eye-opening. That gives you really a sense of control over your money. I opened a Digero account very quickly and started to invest. And that, 5 years on, I can see a huge difference, not only in what I'm able to invest every month, but also just I can see now that the compounding really happening. And so that's really amazing. So that's fantastic. And that's really positive. And even though at first it felt like very small steps, a few years in now, I really can see the accumulation. That's very motivating. And I now have 4 investment properties. The biggest thing for me, though, is that because of that walking into that bank and then figuring out through working with you what that does, I have started teaching my children about money. I gave them a course. We talked about budgeting. We talked about compounding interest, and we talked about debt, because I know the second they turn 18, those credit companies, people are going to come. And I have one of the kids afterwards came up to me and he said, I was really worried about money, but now I'm feeling like it's going to be okay. And that's really the biggest thing that I've gained through my work with you, because I would never have been able to pass this on. So you haven't only changed my life and how I am with money, but also my children. So my kids are not going to walk into a bank and have an uninformed conversation. They're going to walk in and they're going to be able to understand what it means. And I think that that's really the biggest gift that you've given to me, Anne, really. And I'm so happy. And it's a conversation I'm going to keep having with them. And I feel like I can accompany them, and they're going to have just a completely different financial experience than I did. So many topics are taboo. There's so many things that you're not supposed to talk about. And if you don't talk about it with them, they're going to find out somewhere else. And I think the money conversation is such an important one, especially among women and with children as well. Yeah, I think that something that I've always suffered from is fear. So fear of judgment, fear of making mistakes, even though you're allowed to make mistakes. But I'm a bit, I've sort of the fact that thinking that I need to be perfect, and I don't even know where that's come from. And now I'm a little bit more confident because I understand the basics. I feel that making the mistakes is okay. Obviously, I'm trying to avoid them, but I think it's just about you have to trust in yourself. So of course, my fear comes up, but again, I feel like when you understand the basics, which I've learned through you, then it becomes more about curiosity than fear that I'm going to make some horrible mistake. It's curiosity, and I'm allowed to be curious. I'm allowed to ask questions rather than I need to know everything and I can't ask anything at all. Just from a very kind of basic point of view, I would have no income properties and I would have no investments whatsoever if I hadn't started. So just from that perspective. Also, I think that I would probably be stressing more about money. I keep on top of it, but I don't really worry about it anymore because I know where it's going. I can calculate. It's not sort of I wonder what's going to happen in 5 years. I wonder if, is somebody going to have to take care of me? What's going to go on? So I don't have that at all. I mean, if there's one thing I feel I haven't done enough. Let me start with that. And I feel that the sort of the passive income businesses or the low input businesses, I would love to increase. And sometimes the fear blocks me on that. So I need to work on that more. But I am fully into real estate. And, I think I haven't always taken the easiest route. I don't have properties where I live. It's been a bit, but it was either don't buy any or do it this way. That was kind of the option. So I'd like to continue to build that portfolio. I'd like to maybe not just my kids, but maybe just other kids, maybe do something where I'm just trying to teach kids about money, just before they go to university, just really because I think that was such an important event for me. A marking event. So I'd like to do that. And I mean, I don't really want to draw down any time because I wanted to keep growing. in 2018 when I was quite intimidated, because you were again an expert and I had such silly questions and so on, but I quickly got over that. No, I didn't think I'd have these conversations. And I mean, yes, I'm proud, but mostly just so happy. It's just so fun actually. And yeah, to be able to be here. And of course there's a, I have a ways to go but it's just to see, especially 5 years on, what I've managed to do and to share with my family and friends and so on. It's so fun. It's really great. It's really been amazing. And when I say that I do lots of different courses in different subjects, but really I recommend you time and time again, to everybody and to anybody, because I really think that, of course, I've done the work, but it's really thanks to your encouragement and your support and your expertise and your approachability and accessibility that I've managed to get here. Really, it's a big family, it's a big tribe, big supportive family. It's really, it's been exceptional, and I'm so grateful that I found you somehow, and that I was able to, that I started my journey with you. Really, it's just changed everything for me, Anne. Really, I'm so excited for the future with you, really, and with everything and all the changes and everything exciting that's in the future. I'm just open arms and looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Anne. Thank you.